We have owned and built over 60 stores in the Midwest, and we are looking to build one for you.
Are you looking for a business investment that's easy to start, flexible, and cash generating? Then opening a laundromat is for you. Welcome to Laundry Money. This is your place to hear the ins and outs of every step of the design, construction, and operation of your laundry business. I'm your host, Max Brandstetter, podcast producer at Hippo Direct and host of the Wild Business Growth Podcast. And I am here with Howard Shear and Rex Anderson from Lakeside Laundry Equipment, your guides every step of the way. Howard and Rex, how you doing today?
Hi, Max. This is Howard from Lakeside Laundry Equipment.
Hi, Max. This is Rex from Lakeside Laundry Equipment. Looking forward to getting started with you.
Well, this is a pleasure to be here, and we are going to set the stage for why you should start a laundromat business, how you can do that, why it is a good investment. And you two are really the experts in this space. So before we get on with this first episode and the plan of attack going forward, do each of you mind giving a little bit, a brief, maybe 30-second or less background of who you are, what your role is at Lakeside Laundry Equipment, and why you're here today?
Of course. Max, so this is Rex. So I've been with Lakeside for a little over 3 years now. In my time, I've built several laundromats. I've owned and operated 2 with a third on the way. My official position is I'm the controller of Lakeside Laundry Equipment. And yeah, I'm happy to get started here.
Hello, Max. This is Howard Shear. I am the owner of Lakeside Laundry Equipment. I've been in the laundry business since 1984. I purchased Lakeside Laundry Equipment in 1992. We have owned and built over 60 stores in the Midwest, and we are looking to build one for you.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Rex. So this is a really cool space, and I think owning a laundromat business is such an exciting venture. And you guys really know this left and right, inside and out. So when's the first time that you discovered that this could be a good business opportunity? What was your first exposure to it? We'll start with you, Howard.
It's a very good question. The first time I stepped into the multi-housing world, I thought, wow, there's a lot of money to be made in the washers and dryers. Then I helped build our first store, and I was enthusiastic on the returns and how the demographics all came together and how everything we put in play became a bloom and actually became a beautiful flower and grew and made lots of money. In 1992 is when I first got into the commercial world and the working on my first laundromat.
But that was a beautiful metaphor there. Rex, I know you got into the world a few years later, a little bit after that, quickly realized the potential of an investment in a laundromat business. When did it click for you that you said, hey, there's really something cooking or blooming here?
The first time I realized how profitable the business was, actually, it was the first time I collected, and I did, and I compared it to the real estate market and how scalable that was. Went to school for finance, and I equated it to, the real estate market and how it's purely a recession-proof business. You have consistent high returns. I mean, it blows the stock market out of the water, in terms of how consistent the returns are year over year, how much higher the returns are relative to that. I mean, it's not uncommon to see, ROIs and, and IRRs of over 30%. And it's also, once they're up and running, it's a nominal time commitment, per store. So it really is scalable. If you build it right, it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your time should go into building the store. And after that, 20% of it goes into the operations of it.
It's amazing. And for somebody from my end who doesn't know too much about this side of the laundromat business, it's really incredible when you dive into the numbers and you look at the potential and you look at, to your point, it being recession proof. You mentioned background in real estate, and that's a good little transition here to what else we're going to talk about. So if you look forward on Laundry Money and look at the next episodes going forward, we're going to cover everything from site selection to pro forma analysis and budgeting, the building side of things and how not to overbuild, operation plans, even it being so much of a cash business and the accounting side of things as well. So Howard and Rex, of those elements and the other major players or major things to consider in starting a laundromat business, which of those is most important to you or you think is the biggest thing to iron out first? We'll start with you, Howard.
The key is to work with a company like Lakeside Laundry Equipment that has a history and success rate that you can count on. Doing business with a company that has a reputation, that has built successful stores and has helped the owners continue their success over the years is probably the number one factor of choosing and getting into this business.
So that's certainly a strong factor. How about you, Rex? What is something you view as incredibly essential when you're starting out and considering investing in a laundromat business?
So to piggyback off what Howard said, when it comes to selecting the right partner, there are countless, demographic studies and other factors that can go into a successful laundromat. So finding the right partner that can help, sort through all the noise when it comes to all these different demographic studies, whether it be, high renter rate, parking, traffic studies, the closest dollar store, anything like that, that could appear as noise. Finding someone that can help filter that out and really hone in and really come up with a solid business plan to help you build. Because if you build it, they will come, assuming you build it right.
Yes, and I think you're the first person to ever say that line, so we'll give you
Ever,
credit for
ever.
that.
First person to ever say it.
We might have to create a movie about that one line right there. But it is so true. And so those are some elements that are super strong. And just to give a little bit more background about each of you, Howard and Rex, we'll start with you this time, Rex, to give a little more background about you. What is an area of advising or helping out business people as far as owning and starting laundromat businesses that you would say is your bread and butter, like your that's where you got your mojo, baby, as they say? What's an area that you're really passionate about and is really something you view as your strength?
Well, the reason we all do this, it's for the money. Everyone's looking for a place to, to build their retirement, to build their nest egg. Why not do it with something that has, tremendous growth and tremendous turn on their investments?
And how about you, Howard? You spoke to some of your early beginnings in this world. What is it that you would say is your strength as far as owning and advising from the laundromat business side of things?
So I get really excited when a client will call us up and say, I got a great location. That location then has to go into our numbers, and we basically will run a demographic study that we use a program that we wrote that has been formulated to make gross income about 80% what we want to build the store on. When I start seeing those numbers and I start seeing those customers' excitement, looking at the return on their investment and knowing that even during recession periods that we see the incomes steady and strong. But bottom line is the location, building it and looking at those numbers will basically is the juice of us getting to build these stores. And breaking down a location to go as little as a mile around and knowing that you can build that store successfully at a mile away and having those numbers come to life is probably the most exciting thing before you even start to build the store.
That's really powerful because when you make that transition from just talking about something to actually bringing it to life, that's where the magic happens. And that's where you're really impacting so many lives and in a number of different ways.
The reason why I'm so excited about this, Max, is because I know and I trust our numbers over all these years. When we start seeing those numbers come in and we see a store that's going to, oh my God, that reaction. Now we've had, believe it or not all the stores do that. We've even told many customers saying, no, you have a store down the street that does really well. Yes, if it wasn't there, you do well. We would tell you to go elsewhere. And we've lost the store too and seen people build stores and disregarding our knowledge and still build a store with another vendor. And unfortunately, they're not there anymore.
Yeah, there's so many different things that can happen. It really helps to have someone who has your back and can turn this from thoughts and ideas to actual reality and be there every step of the way. So we're winding down in this first episode of Laundry Money, and there's much more where this came from. We have a lot ahead, a lot to look forward to in the coming episodes. So last thing for today, Howard and Rex, we'll start with you, Rex, and then we'll end with you, Howard. What is one thing that you're really excited about with this podcast series going forward? What's one thing about putting this together and information that we are sharing that you are most excited for people to listen to?
I'm excited to spread the word about it. I'm excited for people to, to realize that, laundry really is a great business, and I'm excited to spread the word about it.
And how about you, Howard? Stage is yours.
Directly, we get very excited knowing and watching a store succeed and using that information for our next store. We have our building blocks. And I can't reiterate more to the audience who's listening to this. Our success is directly tied to our experience and long experience in the industry. In knowing that we've been around this long and building this many stores, I'm confident that you can be confident in what we tell you.
And there you have it. So thank you, Howard and Rex, and thank you for listening to Laundry Money. You can bring your laundromat business to life by visiting lakeside.laundry.com/podcast and filling out the form. Until next time, keep it clean.
The numbers discussed in this podcast are based upon estimates and may vary from location to location. Past performances are no guarantee on future estimates, but are used as a guideline.